So Brenda, you've had, as you said, you have 9 adults that you've raised and have grown up and flown the nest. How would you describe supporting people to grow into adults and what you need to do along the way?
I think that's a hugely underserviced area for our kids. Assuming that we're talking about pre-parented kids who have drug and alcohol, prenatal drug and alcohol exposure, as well as early neglect and abuse and attachment issues and a number of things, they may have done very well because of the wonderful parenting they've received over the years and all the services that have gone into them. But then when you're trying to help them get to a place where they can live on their own, things can very often fall apart. Adoptive parents function very highly, and so they build in so much of their life into the child's day, and then that child hits 18, 19, 20, 21, at whatever age they may be trying to leave. And my goodness, is it difficult. They still have the same issues that they had before. They still got ADHD, and they still have FASD, so they can't organize, they can't plan. Not to say that they can't be successful, but you've got to be really prepared for them moving back a lot as they figure that out. You've got to, one of our kids right now, one of our young adults, is really a full-time job, trying to keep him in his place, trying to keep him fed, trying to get him into situations where he may be able to start working. And of course, a lot of our kids don't fit the criteria for getting services, particularly once they hit adulthood. They're far too okay for services for people who have any kind of developmental disability, but yet their adaptive skills are not very good. And so learning how to live as an adult is hard. And we're in an economy now where it's really difficult anyway. I think the average age where people fully emancipate has gone up to 27. And that's people with university degrees. So our kids who often don't have even grade 12 or have a very a grade 12 that isn't going to prepare them for much, who can't go on to university, who may not be able to get any secondary, post-secondary training, they're at the bottom of the job market. And then again, their adaptive skills, their ADHD, the attention disorder, their inability to focus, their inability to recall information is going to make it difficult to maintain a job. They can have problems budgeting. So as a parent, you are not off the hook. You're still going to be very, very actively involved. And I don't see that in many pre-adoption education programs where they talk about how difficult and how active your parenting role becomes once they should be leaving home.
So I guess what you're saying is it hasn't necessarily been less work when they've left home.
No. Now, in some ways it's better because maybe a lot of the behaviors you were having to live with aren't in your home anymore. Or they're in your home temporarily because they come back, they go out, they come back, they go out. But it's a tricky role, What are you going to do with a 22-year-old? I mean, you can't take on the same, you can't ground them, you can't remove privileges. If they're going to stay up all night watching video games at 22 or 23, what are you actually going to do about that? And our kids, you can't toe that kind of line. Either get a job and pay rent or move out, or if you blow it in your apartment, you're on your own. It's not enabling to come back and rescue them because they have a genuine issue going on.
Do you feel a sense of difficulty trying to support your young adults with these, what one might describe as maybe mild disabilities or challenges, as compared to maybe someone with something that's very recognizable, like Down syndrome or a fentanyl disability that's been clear since the child was young?
Oh, absolutely, because there just isn't, the supports aren't there. The independent living supports, most of our kids don't qualify for those. So it is the parents who have to provide that. There isn't the housing. There isn't the support if they actually get into a training program. There isn't the kind of support they need to continue with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very different.
And do you feel like it's affected your kids' self-esteem in a good
Oh,
way?
yes, very much so. It also puts many young adults into dependent relationships that they might not have otherwise gotten
Right.
into. So they may get into partnering with people that are not particularly good for them simply because it's a way to become stable. At least this person has a job or pays the rent or does whatever. That's a real big problem.
And you do also have younger kids along with some of your adults that need help. Is that an issue sometimes to be trying to express to your younger kids the needs that some of your older kids have?
Oh, absolutely. And just the other day, one of my kids said, you know, I'm going to live at home till I don't know what she said, like 25 or something, and then you have to pay for an apartment just like you do for so-and-so. And, you know, the narcissism that goes with adolescence doesn't always understand or accept that this help is needed.
And do you find it challenging to explain, you know, without wanting to give too much detail about one of your children who's older and they're...
Well, what I tend to do is just say, you know, you're not hurting. Your life's pretty good, and I'm taking good care of you. This isn't harming you. This is just about you wanting to complain.
Right.
And so we're not going to discuss it. And I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's the route I take.
Yeah, and I guess the flip side is that when the younger kids do have the ability to understand what was going on, they'll actually see what a great parent you were being. Right? Hopefully.
Who knows?
You know,
Who knows?
they'll know how much you cared for your older kids.
Yeah, and who knows what they may need.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're going on the assumption that again, the narcissistic adolescent, that they are perfect and will never have any needs that I could possibly meet. So who knows?
Well, in a few years we'll see where that's all
see,
gone.
yeah.
Thank you, Brenda.